So welcome everyone to today's Icehouse product webinar. And I'm quite excited about this one because we're talking about our newest offering, Icehouse Plus. So I'm Bryar Stewart, the community manager at the Icehouse, and we have Gareth Bayliss, the sales manager, and Trent Slater, the innovations manager with us. So looking forward to talking about Icehouse Plus, about the benefits, about why it exists and how it all came about. But Gareth, Trent, why don't you just give us a quick introduction about yourselves?
Morning all, I'm Gareth Bayliss, based in Auckland. I'm the sales manager.
I kind of said it, eh?
Yeah, I'm 6 foot, 1. Great to be here, and really excited about this new program product that Trent and I have worked on.
Awesome. So cool. Thanks, team. Nice to have you on, Ray, as well. Thanks for just joining us just then. And Trent, what about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Bryce. So I am in charge of innovation projects here at the Icehouse. So that includes everything from efficiency to sustainability and to transformational projects as well. So one of those is new product development, and this is essentially, it comes into that framework of new product development. And as Gareth said, it's something that myself and Gareth have worked on for the last little while. And it's come after quite a bit of research, which I'll go into in a minute. So looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, so cool. So yeah, the purpose of this webinar today is to go through what Icehouse Plus is, for those just joining us now, how it was birthed, how it sort of developed, and what it looks like now, what the offering is to our Owner Manager Programme alumni. And then just a space at the end to ask any questions. So any alumni that are on, we've got Ray, Simon, Tracy at the moment, a few others. If you are on and you have any questions you'd like to ask, feel free to do that at the end. And then I've got a few questions from our community that I'm going to ask on behalf of them. So Trent, why don't we start with you, and I will share my screen really quickly. We'll start with you, Trent. Why don't you give us a bit of an overview, some context into what Icehouse Plus is all about?
Yeah, sure thing. Flick on to the next slide. So the Icehouse, like many organisations, many alumni organisations, have a focus on continual development of their products and services. A flywheel approach to sort of looking at what they can do to develop them for the future and for their customers. And that's no different to us. So as part of a continuous look at how the Icehouse can better serve our alumni and the SME owners and leaders in New Zealand, we often go through some research, both internally and externally, to see how we can better serve them. Sometimes this is in the form of new programs that may be necessary for new skill sets. And in some cases, it's just around how we can support alumni long term. So that's been the major focus of Icehouse Plus. And it came after in 2016, we did quite a big piece of work on a fact-based survey of alumni, and really stuck into how they were feeling, how we were serving them, what their challenges were, both before the introduction to the Icehouse and after doing our major flagship program, being the Owner Manager Programme. And as you can see on the slide, quite a few, this is just a few of them, but some key themes have been prevalent from then right up until now. And it's something we've tried to introduce into all our programs ongoing. But this has been really the spur, the spark for what has now turned into Icehouse Plus. So things like accountability, ongoing accountability, things like momentum, inspiration. These will be pretty common to business owners and leaders, especially our alumni, as we have these courageous conversations with them in the Owner Manager Program. But what we really felt was that although we have these relationships and we do have ongoing, support and services with our alumni, a lot of the programs are still grounded in a moment in time. So we really wanted to make a strategic shift to make sure that we could support the alumni and help them with a more structured approach to their learning and a structured approach to their growth, and especially with the keyword to have that being sustained over a long period of time. So like I said, we have done and we will be introducing new programs with new topics, but we felt like we actually had quite a few of the nuts and bolts already in the Icehouse services. So this was more around looking at patterns of alumni, looking at what the successful alumni have been doing, what they've requested from us, and basically looking over the last 20 years. So if you go to the next slide for me. Looking at how their touch points with the Icehouse and their touch points in general helped continue momentum and continued their growth trajectory, basically. So we looked through tons and tons of different situations, different alumni, different industries, and we basically came up with a core game plan or a core structure of learning and development that covered both the owner, the leaders in the business, and key staff members that would be developed to meet these ongoing, growth trajectories, and incorporated as well things like inspiration, which is very important. And you can get a lot of learning done, but to feel inspired every day to keep on that game plan, and also to look at having an advisor, especially a long term, rather than a moment in time. So someone that's really going to get stuck into the business, and then the community aspect as well, like the sense of isolation that sometimes business owners and leaders feel. They really thrive in a community like the Icehouse, being able to bounce ideas off each other. So we really wanted to make sure that we were able to produce opportunities for them to have a sense of community connection and support from their peers. So if you flick over to the next slide, we went through and started to develop Icehouse Plus with those key markers in mind. So this is at the moment focused on the business owner, and it is the first iteration of Icehouse Plus. So it's very much focused on the business owner at the moment. And we really want them to go through a really strong strategic pathway that's going to help supplement and maintain their goal trajectories and their growth in their business. So this is a little example of what they would do. They would, basically continue their journey, work with coach, immerse themselves on a almost monthly basis with a touch point with the Icehouse, whether it be learning, inspiration, or a community touch point. So that's, it is a ongoing, huge part of their day-to-day activity that we see this momentum flowing through. And if you go to the next page, so what we've come up with at the moment is 2 roadmaps that we really feel supplement a business owner's growth post owner manager program. One of them is focused on effects on the senior leadership and staff with things like a leadership development program for a key leader in the business, and a few other workshops together with coaching and other supplementary developments for the owner. And then roadmap 2 is really focused on the owner themselves, and making sure that, you know, they have a key advisor in their business post owner manager program for an extended period of time that's really going to drive their game plan, make sure that they are they feel accountable in a positive way, so that they can you know, harness their own momentum and harness their own inspiration to keep working towards what they've decided to go with at the end of owner manager program after they've done their 90-day plan, and extend that out to 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So these are per monthly charges that we've set up, and there is a slight you know, financial benefit to it as well. So there is a little bit of a discount for alumni, but we felt like doing this per month felt right, as the value was coming in each month for the business owner, and they felt that value with strategic touch points each month. So they're seeing what they're getting for their investment. Yeah, so that's Icehouse Plus in a nutshell. So Gareth's also been heavily involved in this, working with and talking with alumni. So he's also might have a few points on this that he likes to share.
Nice, Trent. Yeah, more general. So yeah, I've been at the Icehouse for 5 years this year. I've gone through, luckily I've gone through being a salesperson up to being a leader within the business now. And something that what got my juices flowing, I guess, was when I was on the leadership development program, which was an honor to be on that. Something that I knew about our business and in our sales process, let's be honest, is that the main sale we do with businesses is getting them onto the owner manager program. We see a good fit. It's our flagship program. And we think that they need to do it because of the outcomes of it, and we do a needs analysis with them. Once we've got them on the program, the trust is there, and what I wanted to resonate is that many alumni that I spoke to said, I wish I'd put someone through the leadership program just after the OMP, or I wish I'd done things a bit sooner. I wish I'd done the OMP sooner. But we know after 20 years how people use us to implement their plans and how to continue that growth. And so my passion on this was to kind of prescribe this somewhat to encourage that continuation of learning for the business owner and the business. And this is where me and Trent started getting our heads together, and Trent's done some amazing research into how it would look and how it fits. And we did some market research with a few of our key alumni who were really engaged with it. And basically we're taking things off of their plate somewhat to say, hey, you've signed up to this now. It's time to think about what leader within your business you want to do, or it's time to think about how you're going to implement change through after the OMP, because you've got 40 hours of coaching with us. Let's see what things you needed to implement, and then we kind of keep them on track, and that gives great our return on investment, and it helps us because we can keep the alumni accountable.
And it's that whole idea of, we're not just a moment in time program or organization, that this is a real lean into how we can be, have continued journeys with our alumni and help keep them accountable and have the momentum that they want to grow, without them having to think too hard about it. Like all of these are individual offerings and services that we at the Icehouse offer, but to have it into 2 bundles that you can choose from, it means once you've picked it, you're on the roadmap, you're on the journey of staying connected, of having that momentum, of keeping part of the community, which is a massive part of this. So yeah, I think that sums it up really nicely, guys. Thanks, Trent and Gareth, for that. If you do have any Q&A, feel free to pop your question in the Q&A feature, and we'd be happy to start answering some questions. But love seeing, if it's going to work for me. Yes, love seeing this page here, just around what people are saying and what we realize our alumni are wanting, that sense of community, inspiration, accountability, support, connection. Just these, even in the podcast that I do, or the conversations that we have with alumni, these things come up time and time again. And I think this product is just a great next step. So looking forward to to seeing it play out, and already you've had a few sign up. Is that right, Gareth?
Yeah, we've got 2 or 3 alumni already signed up. We've only been running it a week, which is great. They're alumni who have probably finished. They probably finished within the last 3 years, should we say? Three or so years. 2 of them have just finished program, and I mean the thing of it is, it isn't that we've just come up and said, right, we're going to shove all of our products at our alumni. We haven't done that. We've gone through and looked at what do the alumni who implement the most and get the most out of us and rely on us as a training provider to help them grow. What have they used in their tenure with us? And it's all of these things. And we could have probably put a few more things in it, but we didn't think that they're going to help the continual growth and the return on what they've already got. I just saw a question from Tracy. Morning, Tracy. Who do you propose as the coaches? All of our coaching engagements, we don't just put a coach in front of any of our clients, not just alumni. Just how our coaching engagement works is that me and the sales team will have a needs analysis conversation, look at what the areas of need are, or areas of focus that they want to, or they've probably in the owner manager program realize what they need support on, and then we speak with them, and then we put 1 or 2 suggestions. As we've got about 35, Darren's on the call this morning, 30 odd coaches nationwide, probably more than that now, and then so we understand, we do the needs analysis, we suggest a few to the alumni, then they pick one and they have a free chat for, sometimes we say it's going to be half hour, but sometimes they're an hour or 2 because our coaches are super passionate about the businesses we work with, and then we suggest that, and then we make sure there's a fit on both sides. One side that the coach believes that they can achieve what the alumni needs, and they have a good fit. There has to be a personal fit. I'm going to get on with this person and work with them for 20 or 40 odd hours. And then the flip side is that the alumni feels that they can get objectives that completed out of it. They like the coach as well, and there's a fit on both sides, and then we agree that, and that's how all of our coaching works. And we base that on what the needs are of the client, and then how many hours it would take to achieve that. So this is exactly the same. So it would be a case of, if you signed up to Icehouse Plus, you'd have a good chat with your salesperson. What are the needs? Are the needs now, or are they in the future? Is there short-term needs, so a smaller engagement of like 10 or so hours, and then we can work on that and then reset and come back into it. It'll be very much a journey, and as much as this is prescribed, every engagement is going to be very, very customized, because every business has different issues, and not issues,
problems, challenges, ones. Totally.
And all of our coaches are experienced in their field. So they may be ex-business owners or current business owners, but they have very good expertise in, sales and marketing, or, whatever it is in the market that's needed. All of them are highly experienced in their area of expertise. So I've got 2 or 3 that are amazing on brand and marketing, a few that are fantastic on sales. There's some that are amazing in governance space. The financial acumen of some are higher than others. It goes on and goes on and goes on. We've actually, it's another thing we're working on, is trying to show who is experts in what area. And the issue that we've got is that we've got so many amazing coaches that their expertise is quite vast, and trying to place them. So at the minute, how we do that is we speak to the coaches and we ask them the questions.
Tracy just has a couple follow-up questions. Are they past business owners or current, and can you change the term of the agreement using different strengths?
Yes. So even again, in the sense of changing the terms of the overall Icehouse Plus, we will try and keep that to a structure, but one person who's currently signed up, they were going to do the Icehouse Plus with a leadership program, and then changed it because he said, actually, I need 40 hours with this coach over the next year. So can I change that? And I'm going to put someone on LDP as well. So that was great. In the sense of the coach, yes. So all of our coaching agreements have a 30-day cancellation policy, meaning that you have if me and Bryar are on a call now and we had a good session, but actually we said, we've come to the end of this now, we've done everything that we said we were going to do in the engagement, but you still have 5 or 7 or 10 hours remaining, then the coach normally reaches out to us, or the alumni reaches out to us and says, it was great, but we've done that. And now that's the beauty of, I think, of our the opportunities that we have, is that we have so many amazing coaches who want to work with us. And there's Liz Wotherspoon says, that's a bit of a tongue tie. As Liz Wotherspoon says, we are very fortunate that all of our coaches and advisors want to play in our sandpit. And the reason they want to is because we have great opportunities to bring them some fantastic businesses who are eager to grow. So it works both. But that's why we have a great pool. So if you had one engagement and you didn't use up all the hours, but you achieved what you need to, we'll pause, we'll draw a line under it, and then we'll talk about what the new needs are and put a new coach in front to try and help on the new areas of growth or focus.
That's great. Thanks for these questions, Tracy. It's really good, actually. Really good to be able to discuss it. Feel free to add any other questions, Ray or Simon, if you have any, or any of the team. But a question I've got here from the community is, and we've discussed some of it, but are there any other benefits of Icehouse Plus?
I think that the continual touch points is quite useful. I think the thing that we're going to find out more as we go through and we experience it, and we have, we've got 3 people on it at the minute, and by the time we've got 20 odd, that we'll start to see what the other benefits are. I truly believe the main benefit is that an alumni is super time poor, and they have ambitions to do a lot on the business and work on it. But we get it. They do get dragged into it some of the time. And what this means is that you're going to have one of our sales team who goes, hey, remember 3 months ago you signed up to Icehouse Plus? We've got 4 more LDPs this year. Did you want to put anyone on it on this year? Because we've only got this amount of spots left. Yes, no. I'd advise you that you might look into it now, because when we first talked about Icehouse Plus, you said this was the need and this was the need, and now this is what we'd advise you to do. So it's that accountability piece that for us as a sales team sometimes can seem like we're continually trying to sell, which we're not. We're trying to actually continue the growth of the business. Whereas when an alumni signs up to this, we can now take them on that journey. Hey, we've got these workshops coming up. Is this the right time? You've got 20 hours of coaching. You probably should look into doing this at this time of year, because you said to me when you signed up to it, you're quieter at this time of year, you can start working on the business more. And so it just helps the level of conversations that we've got, and that accountability piece. I think that's probably the best part of it. Yeah,
for sure.
And a few savings, if I'm honest. You do save a bit of money as well.
Totally.
Yeah, I think like Gareth said, when there's commitment on the side of the business owner, then they're more likely to, like Gareth said, put someone on the leadership development program, accelerate a leader's learning and development, accelerate other key staff members. And those are the things that we've seen really benefit an ongoing sustained growth for these alumni businesses. So like Gareth said, they are time poor. It's like having a personal trainer where they're saying, you've already committed to this. These are the things, in a structured format that are going to slot in each month, and it's just going to continue this momentum that you've seen and continue the swell. So again, it's like we're in the corner. We're always probing and finding these opportunities for you, and then we really feel that after these 24 months, the swell of momentum is just going to continue, and those things that possibly could have fallen through the cracks won't. These opportunities that might not have manifested, they will. So I think that's what we're most excited about.
Yeah, totally. Gareth is on mute, which is a regular occurrence.
I think people wish I was on mute a lot more, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
I have to say, I don't have a physical button where people would mute, because I reckon that would be pushed a lot. But on the personal trainer thing, I don't know if anyone else has been outside for a personal trainer and then probably pay for a lot more than what they actually consumed. We won't do that. We will guide them through and work with them the whole time. That's a tongue-in-cheek comment, obviously, but I've paid some money to gyms that I've never really frequented, so I just wanted to make that point.
Simon just
I think it's as well. I think it's as well, like, you know, before there is, you know, when we've seen some of this research and talking with alumni, when they come to these different stages of growth, it's nice to have these things in place, like a leader ready to step in to a role where they need to be, things like that. And again, it's all the time the alumni that we've talked to are time poor. They come to these stages and then it becomes a necessity or maybe a problem, and you know the owner needs to pick it up. If there is this you know, swell or this clear development of the organization, both from a personal level and the business level, like I said, these opportunities just become a breeze. You know, you've got the staff and the personal infrastructure there ready to go, and then you can execute some of your plans on straight away.
Totally. Trent, did you want to talk a little bit about the lawyer, accountant, us idea?
Yes. So like we alluded to at the start of this, I think it was one of the first slides, you know, we are going to back our alumni. We've been backing our alumni for 20 odd years. And I think the key part of why, you know, our alumni have really engaged with us is the word partnership. Like, we have been a partner with them. And as, you know, we've developed trust throughout the community, but we've also been able to develop some very high-end expertise across many different industries, across many different topics, both coaching and internally. We've got an amazing staff here of facilitators that work on the programs. They write the curriculums and then they deliver. They come from both an educational background and both a business owner background. So we've got a mixture of both. So the curriculums are grounded in reality, but also have some higher learning opportunities as well. So it's really a good melting pot of all these ideas. But you know, people find that they work really well with an accountant, and they need to work well with an accountant. They need to work well with a lawyer. But we really feel like continual development of the business is a necessity as well. And that's why, you know, when you need an accountant, you need a lawyer, you need a banker. We feel that, you know, SMEs are crying out in New Zealand for a development partner, to be sort of always on, to be always backing them. And that's what we want to be. We just want to be able to help these SMEs with these things that I guess fall through the cracks that some of these other services don't really provide. So
yeah, that's great.
You do get some advice and advisory from some of these other places, but not to the level and extent that, you know, we can deliver. So yeah.
No, that's a great explanation of that. One question from Tracy: do you know if there is any funding available at present?
Yep. So funding, the regional business partner funding runs from financial year, I think, June to July. From July onwards. So that gets renewed every year. There is the regional business partners currently, and this is going to be recorded. So if someone's watching this in the future, we're recording this in March. There is conversations about the providers of the regional business partner funding. If you don't know about regional business partner funding, 10 seconds is that there's funding out there for businesses who have under 50 staff who are NZ owned to get up to $5,000 a year of funding if they are investing in themselves and the business to grow. So a lot of our alumni receive funding because they invest a lot in training, trying to grow the business. Up to $5,000 or 50%. So if you did one of our workshops, which is just under a couple grand, you get about £1,000, possibly, no guarantees. Because this is a continual piece of work, you'd be able to apply for funding for parts of this. So, parts of the leadership program, you can apply for funding, and that will be a separate entity, and the sales team will help you with that as a part of it, or if it might be the coaching, because every part of this will still have a coaching agreement. You're not just signing up willy-nilly and we're just going to say, oh yeah, we're the coach. No, we're still going to follow a proper process. You sign up to this, but then we will put you in front of a coach and you'll agree what the coaching is going to look like, and then contract it. And that will be exactly the same. So if we contract that part of the coaching, you'll take that contract to the regional business partner and apply for some funding for it. So it's still the same. So yeah, I don't know where the funding is for each region at the minute. Each region is managed separately, so some have more than others. Some might be running a bit low now. There was the Auckland Unlimited Activate Tamaki Makolo Fund that's coming to an end. That was helping Auckland-based businesses, COVID fund. So yeah, long answer, yes.
Cool.
But reach out to your individual customer growth partner and we'll be able to assist you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And thanks heaps, Tracy, for the questions. And then we had one from Simon just asking if we could send through the 2 roadmaps through to Simon too. So thanks, Anthony, for saying, yeah, you'll send those through to him. And that's exactly it. If you do have any more questions that we haven't covered in today's 30-minute webinar, do feel free to get in touch with us and your customer growth partner just to talk those questions through. We're really excited about launching this new offering and know it's genuinely going to be really, really helpful and valuable to our Owner Manager Program alumni and alumni going forward. So we are really excited. And yeah, just appreciate you guys jumping on the webinar today, hearing more, and those listening after this has been recorded live. Hope this has been a helpful resource for you as well to learn more about the product. But thanks, Trent. Thanks, Gareth, for jumping on, and everyone else for jumping on as well. Hope it was valuable and you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Bryar. Good job.
Awesome. Thanks, Trent.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us today.